mastigote. Now amastigote, very powerful, it will go on dividing. So let us say this is the macrophage which ate this promastigote. This promastigote now converts inside this macrophage, it converts into an amastigote. Now inside this macrophage, this amastigote goes on dividing. So this macrophage, when you look at it in the microscope, you will see that there are a lot of LD bodies, that is nothing but these amastigotes. Then as and when these amastigotes go on replicating, this macrophage finally will have to rupture and release these amastigotes into circulation. From this circulation, they are going to hit so many organs like the liver, the spleen, the bone marrow, etc. So they are going to hit the reticuloendothelial system, block them. So there can be splenomegaly, hepatomegaly, etc. Now, when in the blood of this man so many amastigotes are there, when a next sandfly which is not infected comes and bites this man, it picks up these amastigotes which convert into promastigote in the sandfly. Okay. Hope this much is clear. So the life cycle of Leishmania donovani is complete. Life cycle of Leishmania donovani is complete. Now we will move on to the pathogenicity, okay. Don't worry guys, this pathogenicity is same as life cycle, only some extra points. So if they ask pathogenicity, write life cycle. If they ask life cycle, write pathogenicity. Both go hand in hand. So basically Kala Azar is reticuloendotheliosis, okay. It affects the reticuloendothelial system. There is blockade of the reticuloendothelial system. We are here. Are you able to see? Now the skin becomes dry, rough, darkly pigmented, hence the name Kala Azar, okay. The hair becomes thin and brittle, cachexia, that is a condition that causes extreme weight loss, okay. Extreme weight loss will be there, muscle wasting will be there. Spleen is the most affected. It is enlarged, so the splenomegaly, and the cut section will be red or chocolate, okay. Red or chocolate in color due to dilated and engorged vascular spaces. So what are we talking about? We are talking about the spleen. We are talking about what, guys? We are talking about the spleen. This spleen has become enlarged. If you cut it, you will see red color or chocolate in color because dilated and engorged vascular spaces. Moving on. Liver. Liver is also enlarged, but the functioning is not affected. There is nutmeg appearance like you have seen in CBC liver also, same thing, right? So what are we talking about now? We finished what? Liver. We finished liver, guys. Spleen and liver are over. So we finished about liver. Liver in what? Leishmania donovani, Leishmaniasis. Okay. Now coming to the bone marrow, lot of parasitized macrophages will be there. You already know these macrophages will pick up all these amastigotes, promastigotes, and there will be lot of LD bodies in the macrophages. Lymph nodes are affected. There will be lymphadenopathy. But what they are saying is in old world Leishmaniasis, lymph they don't check that much. It does not affect that much probably. Lymphadenopathy or lymph, they are mostly in the new world Leishmaniasis of the viscera. Visceral Leishmaniasis is more lymph node is affected in that. Okay. Severe anemia will be there. So why anemia will be there? So this is something very important. Why RBCs are affected? Because RBCs are destroyed because of hypersplenism. Because of hypersplenism, RBCs are destroyed. There is hemorrhage, they are saying. There is less erythropoiesis because bone marrow is full of parasitized macrophages. There is less erythropoiesis. Poiesis and autoantibodies are there to RBC. So here some antibodies, lot of antibodies are there to what? RBC. So this is what you have to remember, very important. This becomes like an auto antibody against the RBC. Auto antibodies against WBCs also can be there. So severe anemia. Why anemia is there in leishmaniasis? Because of these 4 reasons. What are the 4 reasons? Less erythropoiesis, hemorrhage can be there because of thrombocytopenia, hypersplenism, spleen is enlarged, autoantibodies to RBC. Okay. And then leukopenia. Leukopenia means less number of WBCs. Thrombocytopenia, less platelets, or so totally there is pancytopenia, means everything is affected, means pancytopenia is there. Okay. So thrombocytopenia, because of which hemorrhage, bleeding tendencies. Okay. Next. Most untreated patients die in about 2 years due to some intercurrent disease such as dysentery, diarrhea or tuberculosis. They die because of something else, like they get dysentery or diarrhea or tuberculosis and they die. Okay. After this Kala-Azar, there is something called as post-Kala-Azar dermal leishmaniasis. So here there will be depigmented macules, erythematous patches, butterfly in distribution, that will be erythematous patches, and nodular lesions. You remember in which one you have seen these kind of erythematous patches with butterfly distribution? Kind of reminds me of SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, but here we are talking about leishmaniasis, and that too post-Kala-Azar dermal leishmaniasis. They are saying there can be depigmentation or there can be erythematous patches. So probably alteration of all these. Okay. So this is the pathogenicity of Leishmania donovani. Okay. Is it clear, guys? So this was about how Leishmania donovani affects us. Okay. These are the LD bodies. So look at this LD bodies. Here you can see that this is a monocyte. Monocyte, you can see monocyte is also a macrophage, right? So monocyte, it has consumed all these, the amastigotes are dividing within it. So these are the LD bodies. Here in a neutrophil, they have shown LD bodies. So basically, neutrophil also is a macrophage, monocyte is also a macrophage. So in that you can see a lot of amastigotes. In the blood also, independently, lot of amastigotes are wandering, right? So LD bodies, guys. So that was about it. Guys, in the next video, we will continue with leishmaniasis, okay, visceral leishmaniasis, Kala-Azar. Basically, we will look at the lab diagnosis, okay. Now what we will do, we will just take a recap of what we have seen so far in leishmania. Lab diagnosis will continue in the next video. So we saw that leishmania is a hemoflagellate protozoa. The vector is Phlebotomus or sandfly. This is the sandfly. This is the morphology of leishmania. So we saw the classification of leishmania, old world leishmaniasis, new world, and in that visceral and cutaneous. In this leishmania donovani causes Kala-Azar. Delhi boil is caused by Leishmania tropica. Then in the new world leishmaniasis, you have Leishmania chagassi. Then you have the leishmania, cutaneous leishmania caused by Leishmania mexicana and Leishmania brasiliensis complex. Brazil, I-E-N-S-I-S. Okay. That's the spelling. Now then we saw what? Habitat, you know, morphology, you know. Then we'll move on to the life cycle and pathogenesis. Two hosts are there, man and the sandfly. Vectors, the female sandfly, Phlebotomus. Infective form is a promastigote form present in the midgut of the female sandfly. Mode of transmission is by the bite of infected female sandfly. It can also be transmitted from mother to fetus, blood transfusion, etc. We have shown you the life cycle. Now look at the pathogenicity. So we saw that it affects the skin. Skin will become dry, rough, darkly pigmented. Hence the name Kala Azar. Right? Then the hair becomes thin, brittle, cachexia. Extreme weight loss will be there. Splenomegaly, hepatomegaly, but the functioning of liver is not affected. There will be in the bone marrow is affected, parasitized macrophages. Remember, it's reticuloendothelial system, so definitely spleen, liver, bone marrow, lymph nodes, all these are affected. Lymph nodes, there will be lymphadenopathy, usually in the New World visceral leishmaniasis. Severe anemia will be there, leukopenia, thrombocytopenia. That's why it's called as pancytopenia. Everything, pancytopenia. Most untreated patients will die in 2 years because of other causes like diarrhea, dysentery, tuberculosis, etc. This is also called as a post-Kala Azar dermal leishmaniasis, where there is depigmented macules, erythematous patches, nodular lesion, etc. I think what we saw here was nodular lesion, right? This one. So you can see nodular lesions here. Right? So in the next video we will continue, guys. We will look at the lab diagnosis. Okay, lab diagnosis is pretty huge. We have direct evidence and indirect evidence. So much is there. Better we look at it in the next video, right? Then what else? We have diagnosis of post-Kala Azar dermal lesions, right? Actually, it's post-Kala Azar dermal leishmaniasis, okay? We will also look at the treatment of Kala Azar. So there are a lot of methods here. Some pentavalent antimonial compounds are available, or amphotericin B, parmomycin, miltefosine. Lot of things are there. Prophylaxis is the prevention, so definitely hygiene, etc. matters. So we are done so far. Whatever we wanted to cover, leishmania is done. Come back for the next video for lab diagnosis of Kala Azar. Okay.